I think just before we get started talking about Army, just obviously some tough news coming out of Chapel Hill this weekend with the passing of Tylee Craft, and we got a couple of kids that played with him, and they've obviously have just a tough deal, and talked about it a little bit yesterday. But just our thoughts and prayers are with Coach Brown and the Craft family and the UNC family. So it's something that as a coach you never want to go through. So, but it's game week. Should be good week for practice this week. Players are really excited about the matchup. Obviously, getting a chance to play a ranked opponent on the road is a challenge, but it's something that the players are they're excited to get back out on the field and play, and just having the opportunity with the bye to be able to sit and just actually watch a game. Watched UAB and Army, the 12 o'clock kickoff on Saturday, and obviously not just looking at that game, but looking at all their games. Very solid football team, top to bottom, all three phases. Offensively, everything revolves around the veteran quarterback. He does a great job, but he has a lot of really strong players around him. But they've they're 6-0, and they're 6-0 for a reason. They've played really good football so far this year, so it's a great opportunity for our program going into Sunday's matchup. Questions?
You can raise your hand. Thank you.
Coach, just looking at their offense, they do some shotgun stuff along with the regular under center. Just how much has their offense, the triple option, evolved since obviously you ran it years ago?
They're not as much veer option as what, say, Navy used to be or what we were back in the day. They do run some midline triple. That's really the only true triple option we've seen out of them. A lot of their stuff is either quarterback follow, quarterback counter, quarterback zone. They run some arc option where they pitch it to the fullback. They run toss. They do a lot of other stuff, but the big thing revolves around the quarterback and the fullback. I think that Six, Uda, I think that's the way you pronounce his name, really good running back, and they do a lot of stuff with him just on dive cut back, things like that. Noah Short is one of their slot backs that try to get him the ball, either pitching it to him, handing it to him, or throwing it to him. But everything in that offense revolves around Bryson Daly and that offensive line.
Coach, how fine is the line between trying to stop the run and getting everybody in the box and then the play action pass? Because that's another big weapon.
Yeah, I think statistically, I was looking at his stuff this morning, and they've only thrown it like 30 times on the year. He's 37 times. He's 20 of 37 for 482 yards. So they're pretty effective when they do throw it, and that's it. And we've been working last week on it, and have really drilled into our secondary that their eye discipline is critical. The tough thing is being able to replicate what they do, because they do get in such condensed sets where the receivers are down in there. They got receivers lined up at a tight end position. They got those slot backs, either one on each side, two on the same side, or whatever. And they're such a run-heavy team. And then all of a sudden, you play action, and if you don't have very disciplined eyes, you look up and just like Saturday, they crossed the 50 against UAB. Remember, a little play action, post wheel to the boundary right there, and there's nobody within 30 yards of the post route. And it's a very common theme that we've seen throughout the first 6 games on film. So that is the challenge. Is our secondary is going to have to support, and they've got to support with some tenacity, because you have a 225-pound quarterback that you're trying to tackle. But they've got to have great eyes so that when those guys release, on those play action passes, that they don't just cut somebody loose.
Coach, what was the biggest realization or takeaway that you had during the bye week with you and your team about yourselves that will help you into this week?
Well, I thought the team responded really, really well during the bye week. The Leadership Council asked if they could have a players meeting last week when we started the week, and because we had talked about a lot of things in that group, and they wanted to relay some things from a standpoint of here's what we have to do as players. And They had that on Tuesday, and I thought really had a positive week. Very, very physical practice on Wednesday, very physical practice on Thursday. I thought we had great enthusiasm, had a sharp practice on Friday, and so for a bye week, I thought that a lot of maybe just recentering, a little bit of a reset, and just kind of getting back to what we want to be. Now, got to have a great week of practice this week, and obviously a pretty stiff test, but we're excited about going up there and having a chance to play this ball game.
Coach, you talked about that test, first ranked opponent of the year, and first time kind of coming to this as a true underdog this week. Is that something you feed into, being an underdog, or something you kind of put aside and ignore for the time being?
Well, I mean, it's just a great opportunity, and our kids, they got a lot of pride in the way we want to play, and so it's a great challenge. But obviously, there shouldn't be any pressure on us. We got a great chance to go up there and play free and play aggressive, and go try to do something special.
A lot of similarities in their defense and your defense. Do you think your offense has a little bit of advantage seeing the similar defense they saw all summer long, and you've, I think, seen 2 or 3 teams that run that this year as well?
Yeah, they're not quite as diverse as we are. They play more coverage than pressure as much. But there are some similarities from the standpoint of 3 down, 4 down. They run a lot of nickel fire. They're some quarter half and 3 weak and a little bit of quarters in the secondary. They do a really good job of keeping everything in front of them. Trying not to give up the big play. Trying to make teams execute, and the teams that have struggled to put together consistent drives and operate are the ones that find themselves behind pretty quickly. And so I think the key to them is just not shooting yourself in the foot. Going out there and operating real well. Not having sloppiness, not having penalties that set you behind the chains, because you don't want to end up in 3rd and long against them. That's when they have the advantage.
When facing an offense like Army's, you want some extra time to prepare. So how beneficial was it to have the bye week last week in preparation for Army?
Well, I think it's good. I mean, that's always the challenge when you don't have an extra week. Is it's hard to go from defending the spread offense to just defending this in just 1 week's preparation. And so, having last week to really get prepared for it. We talked about it last night when we finished up with our practice and meetings. Was our kids, they know the game plan right now. Now it's, can we perfect it over the next several days, because they take advantage of the opponent's mistakes. You get out of position, you don't support the perimeter correctly. You don't do a good job supporting those quarterback follows with all those lead blockers up in there, and you give the quarterback a crease, or you give the fullback a crease, or you don't support the perimeter on short. That's when they have the big plays that really gash you. And so it's great to have the bye last week. We'll be very prepared going into Saturday, and then we just got to go and execute and play our game. And the key is going to be matching the physicality of that offensive line, matching the physicality of that defensive line for our offense, and then executing at a high level.
Who will start at quarterback for you guys this week, and what kind of evaluations went into that decision?
Well, I think whomever gives us the best opportunity to go out there and win on Saturday is who's going to start at quarterback. But obviously, there's a lot that goes into that decision, and I think that we have 2 very capable guys. But whomever gives us the best opportunity to win on game day is who's going to start.
Coach, you obviously know the passion of Pirate Nation well. A lot was said after the Charlotte game on social media. Do you, use that as fuel? Do you address it with the team at all? Just curious, do you block it out? How you kind of handle all that stuff?
Well, I think that none of us were happy with our performance the last time out, and I say that, Pirate Nation, me, the players, none of us. And we take a lot of we take this very seriously, and obviously the players, the staff, they invest a lot. when you're asleep at night, depends on how you play on Saturday. I mean, that's pretty serious stuff. And so we've all tried to do a great job during this extra bye week of correcting things, addressing things. Hey, this is what we want to do. This is not what we're going to do. And I think that the team is in a good spot going into this week, and I think that you're going to see a group that's very motivated on Saturday, and I think you're going to see the team go out and play the way we want to see them play Saturday.
You mentioned earlier about just the players leading here. I mean, how encouraging is that for that to come from them, and also just knowing you still have half the season to play?
I think that's both of those questions are things that I'm very blessed. We have worked very hard to put together the character of young men that we have in this program, and they don't disappoint me with that aspect. We may not have played as well as we wanted to the last time out, but them on a daily basis, they don't disappoint me in who they are. And so I'm not shocked to see that kind of positive leadership from our older players. At the same time, I'm very appreciative of it. And the thing that they know is we're sitting here mid-season, 3-3, 1-1 in the conference. We got 6 opportunities guaranteed here in the second half. Half those on the road, half of them at home. And just like with the first half of the conference schedule, we got to take it 1 week at a time, and the goal this week is to go 1-0, and that's got to be our focus each week. And as you look at the landscape of college football and all across the country, I mean, nobody on a week-to-week basis is just mowing through everybody. I mean, you see a team play great 1 week, and you see a team shock them the next. And so I have a lot of faith and belief in the potential of this group, and I think that we've got as good a shot as anybody. And so we're excited about the second half of the season.
Coach, the Army hasn't trailed all year. The start of the game, how important? Obviously, every start's important, but just to maybe not get buried early at that place.
Well, and that's what they're doing to a lot of people. It's like Saturday. I mean, UAB, they go for it on 4th and 5. They're on the opening drive, don't get it. Army scores on the first play. They punt. UAB stalls and they punt, and Army drives down, and it's 14-0, and you haven't even blinked yet. And that's what we've seen consistently. And I think they've scored on the first drive of every game, and I think they've scored on the first 2 drives of every game except for 1. And so they're obviously playing at a very high level. They've got a lot of experience in that offense. They're very solid in all 3 phases, and so they get up 2-3 scores, and they put a lot of pressure on the opponent. At the same time, I don't know how much they've been challenged to play a full game yet, and that's the thing where I see a lot of opportunity is going in there and playing really well and don't give them anything. I think that our bunch is going to play really well Saturday, and having a shot to go into the 4th quarter with an opportunity to win on the road, and that's the goal for the players.